Okay, today we're going to talk about drawing conclusions based on definitions, theorems, and postulates. Please make sure that you take out a sheet of loose leaf paper so that you can copy some of this down if you chose not to print it out. So the first thing that you need to go over, or we need to go through, is different vocabulary. Please hit pause so that you can copy this down after I explain it, so that you have these vocabulary words to refer to. So a midpoint is a point on a line that splits it into two equal parts or halves. A median is a line drawn from the vertex to the opposite sides, midpoint. An angle bisector is a line that cuts an angle into two congruent angles. Supplementary angles are angles whose sum is 180 degrees. An altitude is a line that's drawn to show height. It makes 90 degrees. A right angle is an angle that equals 90 degrees. A line bisector is a line that cuts another line into two equal parts. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at 90-degree angles. Complementary angles are angles whose sum is 90 degrees. And vertical angles are two congruent angles formed by two intersecting lines. Again, hit pause on the video for a moment and copy down these vocabulary words. So, after reviewing those vocabulary words, let's learn about how to make some valid conclusions. If I am given that AC, meaning this part here, is congruent to CB, this part here, what conclusion can I say? My conclusion would be that C is the midpoint. If I look at number 2, it says BD is a median. So look at the picture. It's telling me that BD, this line here, is a median. When you see the word median, think midpoint. So a conclusion can be that D is the midpoint of AC. We can take that one step further. If D is the midpoint, then I also can say that AD is congruent to DC. AD is congruent to DC. If I look at number 3, it says given that CD, so this line segment here, is perpendicular to AB, so perpendicular to this line. So when I see perpendicular, I think 90-degree angles. So a valid conclusion would be that angle CDA, you could have written that as ADC, and angle CDB are right angles. If you are the kid who has difficulty labeling angles with the letters, you can also technically put a 1 here and a 2 here, and you can call this one angle 1 and this one angle 2. If we look at number 4, it says that BD, so this here, bisects angle ABC. So if I look from A to B to C, so the blue line is bisecting the angle. If we think about a bisector, it means cuts in half. So that means that this angle here and this angle here are equal. So my conclusion could be that angle ABD is congruent to angle CBD. Again, if you are a kid who struggles with letterings, labeling angles with letters, you can cheat and call that 1 and that 2, and you can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Number 5, I have two intersecting segments. So if I have two line segments that cross each other, then I can say that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. I can also say that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. And we know this because when we have intersecting segments, we have vertical angles. If I look at number 6, it says triangle ABC is isosceles with base AC. So think about what you know about an isosceles triangle. If this is my base, then I know that this side is equal to this side because that's the definition of an isosceles triangle. So AB is congruent to BC. Since it's an isosceles triangle, I also know that my base angles are congruent, this angle and this angle. So I can say that angle A is congruent to angle C. I can call these angles single letter angles because at A, there is only one angle. If you like to number, again, you could put a 1 and a 2 and call it angle 1 congruent to angle 2. If you like 3 letters, you can also call it angle BAC and angle BCA. So all of these mean the exact same thing. Number 7, it says, given that angle 1 is complementary to angle 2. So we're going to think complementary means 90-degree angles. So we can say that angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. If you wanted to mark your picture, you could put a box in that angle because you know that it creates a 90-degree angle. For number 8, it says BD bisects. When we see the word bisect, we want to think cut in half AC. So A to C, this thing here, this line segment is getting cut in half. If it's getting cut in half, I know that this piece is equal or congruent to that piece. So I can say that AD is congruent to DC. For number 9, it says E, so let's look, here's E, is the midpoint of AB. Midpoint means it's in the middle. So if E is in the middle of line AB, line segment AB, I can say that AE is congruent to EB. So AE is congruent to EB because of a midpoint. If I look at number 10, it says diagonal AC, so this diagonal here is bisecting. Remember, bisect means to cut in half BD. So this red line from B to D is getting cut in half. So if I'm cutting the red line in half, I know that this piece, D to E, is congruent to E to B. So DE is congruent to EB. Again, that's because we know a bisector cuts something in half. Please make sure that you write down any questions that you have and email me or ask me next time you see me.